Final thing in Off the Top today, and this one is huge. Bye-bye, MoviePass.
So they've been making little additions one by one, kind of nickel and diming their subscribers lately. Today got the email about peak pricing. MoviePass, you have gone
too far this time.
Too far! God! Thanks a lot.
MoviePass.
MoviePass caught on because it seemed too good to be true, and sure enough it was. This year alone, the service has bait and switched on surge pricing, repeat viewings, and theater availability, and that's just for starters. In the meantime, theaters are frustrated because a service like MoviePass prevents them from competing on things like premium screens and better seating. Imagine being a Netflix subscriber, only to find out on the day that Stranger Things comes out that you have to pay $3 extra to watch it, and you can only see it once. That's the kind of stuff that MoviePass customers have had to deal with. And that's after the company decided to get rid of its movie-a-day plan before deciding to bring it back again.
Even if I just went to the movies twice and I'm paying $6 a month, okay, but I go to the movies a lot. So now I'm ultimately paying a lot more than what I signed up for. I was told $10 a month, Mike, you can go as many times as you want, blah, blah, blah. Now I don't get to go that many times. Well, actually I do get to go that many times, but now I gotta pay $3.65 for every single time. So it kind of just defeated the purpose, but
it's like, what? So not only are you going to stop letting us go see the same movie more than once, but you're going to, like, make fun of your customers on your social media outlets? Like, it's just so bizarre. MoviePass is a fascinating thing. It's one of the most bizarre things that I've ever seen. But honestly, now that they're adding this surcharge thing, I, as a customer, am not interested anymore. When August rolls around, once I get more details about the surcharge thing, I'm probably out.
Are you done? Are you done? Thank you. All right, now it's time to get serious, and now it's time to come back to reality. And we need to discuss why MoviePass, even with peak pricing, is still a much better deal than not having MoviePass at all. And yes, we will factor AMC Stubbs A-List into the equation. Hey everyone, this is Kevin T. Rodriguez, film critic of iCritic.net and shareholder in Helos and Matheson, which owns MoviePass, and shareholder in AMC. I always have to point that out. But you know what? We are going to not be playing games today. I have always made it clear that I am an investor in MoviePass. I love MoviePass. I was a subscriber of MoviePass before they were $9.99. I was a subscriber before they were $99.99. I was a subscriber pretty much on the ground floor up. And I have loved this company since then. I have loved the concept of the company, and I was always thinking this would be the future. This is the future, subscription. I'm getting so tired of paying $15 a movie. I think a lot of people were too. And once it got to $10 or once it got to a reasonable amount of money, then people finally woke up and said, yeah, why are we still paying, you know, for individual tickets? Let's get a subscription service. But maybe MoviePass was too good to be true. Maybe the benefits were too great. Maybe the freedom's too vast, because when MoviePass is hemorrhaging money, people are okay so long as they only pay $10 a month. And now MoviePass has introduced the dreaded peak pricing, otherwise known as the surge. And now that people have to actually pay a little bit of money on certain movies at certain times, they're ready to get rid of MoviePass. It's not worth it anymore. It is such a ripoff. How dare they do that? I'm canceling my MoviePass right now. They are such a shady company. And yeah, granted, it's not nice that it was kind of sprung on people, even though they were given like pretty much a few weeks heads up that it was happening. But no, here's the thing. As a shareholder and as a huge MoviePass fan, more so a MoviePass fan, I'm going to say that yes, the peak pricing is annoying. But if you honestly think canceling MoviePass is the answer, no, it is not. You want to cut off your nose to spite your face? I know there is a little thing in your mind that when there is a change made and it's a change you don't like, you want to rebel. But objectively speaking, MoviePass is still the best deal around, and if you don't realize that, then you're just not doing the math. And you know what? Okay, maybe some people can't do the math. Maybe they're not looking at the bigger picture. They're just looking at, hey, before peak pricing was available, I could see the Avengers without paying anything. Now, when I want to see Ant-Man, it's charging me $3.25. So how is that a good deal for me? I paid for MoviePass so I wouldn't have to pay for movies. Wrong. You paid for MoviePass to get a good deal on movies, which, even with the peak pricing, MoviePass is still, by and large, the best deal. So we're going to get into the math, we're going to get into the numbers, and we're going to show why. Just a bit of a heads up, my head's going to have to shrink a little bit so that we can visually, show you why this is the case. But I think considering that I'm not the best looking guy in the world, I think we'll be okay with that. Ready? All right, here we go. Shrink. Okay, there we are. We are now in a small box and we have a bunch of black space up here. And here's what we're going to do. We are going to look at movies that you want to see, because one of the common criticisms of the peak pricing is that, hey, I saw this many movies in this month. If the peak pricing existed, I would be spending this much money, and at that point, it's not worth it. And I do agree, when you argue it that way, it doesn't sound like a good deal. But let's seriously look at movies that most likely the vast majority of you will want to see or might have to see, depending on if you have a girlfriend or kids or whatever. Now, I have not picked these movies at random. I have chosen 6 movies that, at least from my perspective, seems like these are pretty good candidates for movies that people would want to see in the general public, and they also seem like they would be prone to peak pricing, otherwise known as the surge. And those movies are Ant-Man and the Wasp. I've got my notes. Hotel Transylvania 3, The Equalizer 2, Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. I can't believe we're going again there. Mission Impossible Fallout, and Teen Titans Go to the Movies. Whether you want to see them or not, I think we can all agree these are movies that are going to be sustainable to the surge. They have enough demand for them that, people just want to see them, and it's going to enact a surge. So let's focus on that. And the first thing we're going to focus on is, what would it cost to see these movies without owning MoviePass first? Now, it's going to vary from theater to theater, but let's just say it's $12.50. That is the average cost of a nighttime evening ticket, which is when most people will want to see it. This is also the price of most Saturday showings after 2 p.m. So $12.50. By my calculation, without MoviePass, this will cost you $75 if you want to see all 6 of these movies. Without MoviePass, paying out of pocket, it's $75. Now, of course, with old MoviePass rules, $10 would cover all of them. But we're living in peak price, and these movies are definitely probably going to have peak pricing if you're going to see them in the first weekend, which most of you probably will. So what would it cost with peak pricing? Well, that's the thing. It's kind of hard to tell because peak pricing ranges somewhere between $2 to $6. You just don't know. It depends on the time. It depends on the city. It depends on the movie. And while I am very well aware that Mission Impossible will probably be a $6 peak pricing movie, let's just round it all up to $3.50 for simplicity's sake. And that's the average, I think. So with that in mind, with the peak pricing, you will be paying an average of $3.50 to see each movie. The argument that a lot of people have is that this adds up fast, and I am not denying you it does add up fast, but let's factor this in. Let's say these are the 6 movies you decide to see in July. $3.50 each plus your 1-month MoviePass cost, which is $9.95. How much is that in total? In total, that is about $29.45 to see all 6 movies. That is a savings of $45.55 if you had not had a MoviePass card. So, okay, yeah, I mean, you were used to paying $10 to see all 6 of these movies before, and now you are effectively paying triple that. But if you didn't have MoviePass at all, you'd be paying quadruple that. And $45 sounds a heck of a lot better than $75. Don't you agree? But now let's move on to premium theaters, because some people at this point will say, well, I like watching movies in 3D or IMAX, or better yet, IMAX 3D, and MoviePass doesn't cover them. Well, not yet, but come Labor Day, you will be able to see 3D and IMAX movies. The only difference is you will have to pay the difference in the cost of the ticket plus a $1.50 convenience fee, which I fully am aware MoviePass is charging just because they can. You know, I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to assume you're also going to have to pay the $3.50 peak pricing on top of this. So what's that going to look like? Well, let's start with the prices first. If you want to see Ant-Man and the Wasp in IMAX 3D, and why wouldn't you? Because guess what? It's Marvel and they filmed it with some IMAX cameras, so there's specialty formatted scenes that you only see in IMAX 3D. Well, that will probably cost you $19. If you want to see Hotel Transylvania 3, you're bringing the kids, they like the 3D effect, so you see it in 3D. That will cost you $15.50 on average. If you're a fan of the Equalizer 2, good news, there's no 3D or IMAX version. That one's still $12.50. Now, Mamma Mia, for some reason, is getting an IMAX release. A limited one, but it is getting an IMAX release. But it's not in 3D, so you save a buck there, $18. But it's time to go big or go home again. Mission Impossible Fallout, IMAX 3D with specialty formatted scenes, only in IMAX. That's going to be another $19. And then, finally, you get another break. Teen Titans Go to the Movie, not in IMAX, not in 3D, $12.50. Now, by my calculations, if you were to not have the MoviePass altogether, that would be $96.50. Almost $100 to see these movies. And let's face it, for that $100, you could probably buy them and own them if you wanted. But what about the cost of these movies if you use your MoviePass, and even with the peak pricing and the convenience fee and the ticket difference? Well, I assume for Ant-Man, you're going to be spending $11.50 that night. Still a savings of almost $8. With Hotel Transylvania 3, you're going to be spending $8, half of the ticket price. Equalizer 3, and Teen Titans Go to the Movies, that's your $3 peak pricing. Mamma Mia will be about $10.50, and Mission Impossible Fallout will be $11.50. By my calculations, I think you will be spending $58.45. That includes the $9.95 MoviePass membership fee that month. That is a savings of $47.55. You are saving almost half off if you use your MoviePass. Objectively speaking, even with the almost $10 in convenience fees, that is a great deal. But now, this is where AMC Stubs A-List comes in, because $58 is a lot more money than $20. And the AMC Stubs list lets it so that you can see not only all these movies, but you can see them in 3D and in IMAX 3D, and you can see them multiple times. 3 movies a week, they recharge, so why wouldn't you just switch over completely to the AMC Stubs A-List card and just dump MoviePass like a bad habit? Well, there's a couple reasons, a few really. The first reason, you might not be near an AMC, so this might not even be possible. In that respect, if you are one of these people, this is where you can stop now and you can keep your MoviePass card, because I have just demonstrated the great savings you will still have if you keep it, even though you are peeved at the peak pricing. If, however, you do have AMCs near you, reason number 2 is that not all of the AMC IMAX screens are real. Like, for example, I have a lot of AMC IMAXs near me, and there's only one I would comfortably go to. Maybe 2 if I was in a pinch. But the real IMAX screens are at Regal, and they're at Universal City Walk. And while the Universal City Walk one is a real IMAX, I'm not always going to go to Universal Studios just to go to the movies. Most of the IMAX movies I go to, I'm going to go to the Spectrum or the TLC, and this is where the MoviePass card will come in handy, because I will spend that extra money rather than get a free LIMAX experience. But the third and final reason is what you see on the side. I hope I'm pointing in the correct direction. I've left this space blank for a reason. That's because these are bonus movies. Let's say you want to do something a little more outside the box. One of the things people loved about MoviePass and AMC Stubs as well is that it encouraged people to try movies they normally wouldn't have seen. They've heard great things about them, but who wants to risk $15 on an unproven movie when you could see something that might be technically inferior, but you're familiar with it? Well, this is where MoviePass helps you and AMC Stubs A-List does not. I have listed 2 movies that have become critical darlings and have gotten most of their business from MoviePass. Actually, I'm going to name 3 just for fun. We've got American Animals, which, yes, was made in part by MoviePass. Does not mean it's not a great movie. Gotti's terrible, but American Animals is great. And then you have 3 Strangers, which has basically become a sleeper hit because of MoviePass. It is a documentary about 3 identical twin brothers who were separated at birth, and the reasons why will astound you and drive you absolutely crazy. You would normally not pay $15 to see this because it's a documentary, but with MoviePass and it not coming out, it has become a surprise underground hit. And the final movie is First Reformed, which probably has one of Ethan Hawke's absolute best performances. And even though Ethan Hawke is somewhat of a draw, he's not enough so for most people to pay $15. But with MoviePass, you can. Now, what is the difference? Why is MoviePass the big deal breaker here? Because none of these movies showed up. Well, okay, I take that back. Only 2 of these movies showed up at an AMC theater near me. The others never came because they are not big enough for AMC to care about. Even though AMC has 20 or 30 screens per theater, they would rather put more showings of Deadpool 2, Avengers, and Solo in theaters rather than putting an independent film there. AMC does have an AMC independent program, but they are very rare and they aren't at nearly as many theaters as you'd like. If you live in Los Angeles, you might come across some of these, and even then, they didn't show 2 of these movies. So what do? You've got to go to another theater, and your AMC Stubs A-List card will not work. Well, it's not even a card, it's just a service, it's an app. So you whip out your MoviePass, and right there, $25. $25 in savings. These movies are very unlikely to peak price because there's just not enough demand to get them to peak price. And so, MoviePass has effectively saved you at the very minimum $3 if you just see one. Guys, I'm not sure how much clearer I can make this. The math adds up. If you love movies, MoviePass is definitely one of the cards you want to have. And while the other theaters are going to have their own plans, you're going to want that card that works at all the theaters and is relatively unlimited. Once in a while, you will have to pay a peak price. But as I've shown already, even if you have to pay a peak price on every movie, MoviePass is still covering most of the costs, and it is still, objectively speaking, a very, very good deal. You know, there was a joke at one point where it's like, what's worse than Uber's surge? And the answer was no Uber at all. And this is something that I have argued on my other channel, the Apptrepreneur, which has a lot more subscribers than this one. But that, in the fact that with surge pricing, you don't like it, you don't want it, no one likes to pay more money for something, but it was effective at getting the drivers out at the times you need them to give you a ride. If it wasn't there, you would either be waiting a lot longer for your Uber or you wouldn't get your Uber at all. And let's not pretend like this isn't some new thing. Restaurants and stage productions have done this for years. Restaurants will give you promotions, there's lunch specials, there's kids eat free on Tuesdays, and on Thursdays at Papa John's, you can get 2 pizzas for $7.99 each, or $7.77 each, something like that. But on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, no deal, no promotion. Why? Because everyone's out and about and they're ready to buy. The promotions are there to get people into the seats. So with MoviePass, you effectively have that promotion all week long. For the slow times or the movies that have been out for a while, you're not paying anything. But for the movies that have demand, yes, they are going to charge you a little bit of money, and I don't see why that's wrong. Yeah, you got used to not having to pay it. But here's the thing, would you rather spend $75 out of ticket to see all these movies, or would you rather pay $45 to see all these movies? I think I can safely say what most people would actually do. So when I get comments of people saying, I don't like that MoviePass made this change, I'm gonna go back to buying tickets full price, because this is not what I signed up for. It's like, you're right, it's not what you signed up for. You'd rather pay $10 instead of $75. But I bet you when push comes to shove, you would also rather pay $45 instead of $75. And I think that's what's getting lost in all of this, is that the savings is still there, the deal is still good, we're just pissed because something changed. Eventually, we're just going to accept it, it's going to be the new norm, and you are going to enjoy having your MoviePass card and still seeing movies for basically pennies of the dollar. Think of it kind of like your Amazon Prime subscription, because here's the thing, Amazon Prime has a lot of movies to stream, but some of them are free with Prime. Others are not free with Prime. You've got to pay money for them. As a Prime member, though, you get a huge discount. So what do you want to do? Do you want to spend $9 a month to get Prime and some shows for free and then pay a discount for the rest? Or would you rather just pay full price for everything and spend 4 to 5 times as much than you need to? And by the way, this is why I recommend people who live where there's a lot of AMCs and a lot of other theaters out there, this is why I recommend you have both. Because you can avoid a lot of this if you have both cards, then effectively that $96 to $97 worth of movies that would normally cost you out of pocket, with 2 memberships, you can see all these movies you want for $30 a month, which is even lower than the $45 that I quoted you, and you just have to use the cards wisely. Really, I am perfectly okay with AMC Stubs A-List. I think it's a good thing. I think it's going to balance out the usage, and I think it gives people more options. And for those of you who say, well, if I have both cards, there might be a couple months that I don't use my MoviePass. Okay, so what? You know what? All of us, we all have Netflix and Hulu. And I bet you there are months that go by, we've all done it, where we don't watch Hulu or Netflix. In fact, Hulu, I probably subscribe to 3 months out of the year, every year, and I'm never watching it. But you know what? At less than $10 a month, it's not really noticeable, and it won't be noticeable to you either. So anyway, that's where we're going to end it. What do you folks think? Are you still going to cancel? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I would love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy videos like this, please consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly. And as always, flame responsibly, treat each other nice in the comments. Have a good day.